before 2026 hits, if you don't fix these 5 money habits, you'll struggle next year. Let's dive right in. The first thing you need to implement, and I mean urgently, is tracking your money. Even if it's a small amount, you need to make sure that you're able to track to the very last penny. Why is this very important? It will first help you to avoid losses which accumulate and compound with time. Hence, you're able to minimize wastage. And these small amounts is what can make you a millionaire if you are really serious about tracking every penny to the last cent. So that is the first thing you need to implement, and you need to make it an urgency. You need to have that urgency to address this issue. I've actually really been working on myself on tracking the penny and the small amounts that I spend, and though I'm not perfect and I'm not where I want to be, I've been able to improve that habit and avoid wastage, avoid paying for something and not checking my M-Pesa balance. You know, those minor things, those minor issues are what you actually want to focus on, and you want to build a habit around tracking every penny. Every time you pay for something, every time you purchase anything, you follow up. What have I remained with? What do I have in my bank account? What do I have in my savings account, in my MMF? You need to follow each and every amount you have in all accounts. The next thing you need to do before we hit 2026 is you need to kill one bad habit about your finances. And you can't say you don't have a bad habit with your finances. They come in very nuanced ways, they come in very subtle ways that at times it's difficult to track them, it's difficult to recognize. But when you actually go and think about it, you'll realize that there are so many, but it's just that you're not aware of them and you don't really focus on them as much. So what you need to do is you need to track these finances. Not really track, sorry, that was the first point. You need to kill these habits that are dragging you behind. Like I was saying, that these bad habits about your finances, about your money, that's deeply ingrained, and at times you need to be really self-aware to recognize them. But if you think harder and deeply, you'll be able to realize that there are so many bad behaviors and bad habits that we've created over time, and it is being a setback. It's becoming an issue and a problem when building wealth, when investing, when accumulating wealth. So in 2026, we don't need these bad habits. We want to have a certain level of efficiency, a certain level of investing and motion, that these small habits that are dragging us behind won't become an issue and won't become a setback. So these are things we need to address as early as now before we hit next year. The third thing and habit you need to address before 2026 is you need to build an emergency account. One thing about life is that it will meet you, it will just surprise you. You know, you don't know about tomorrow, you don't know about next year, and often people don't really prepare well, hence they are not prepared, or hence they find themselves in circumstances that are very detrimental to their wealth journey and detrimental to their financial independence journey. So you want to have an emergency account so that whenever you face a challenge mid-year, or even in the beginning of the year, or even tomorrow, you can be able to handle it without going bankrupt, taking huge debts that have very high interest rates, and which will damage your credit facility. And people think that having an emergency fund means that you need to have a lot of money to be able to start an emergency account, but it's actually the opposite. It's just starting small and letting it to compound over time, and before you realize it, you have something to fall back to. Whenever you have a sick relative or a sick friend who needs immediate attention to, you can be able to help them out without digging into your savings and into your investments that will drag you behind. Even you by yourself, it will really help you a lot if you fall asleep or you find any emergency that you had not prepared yourself for it prior. It can really come in handy. The fourth thing that we need to address before 2026 comes is we need to learn one income skill. The minimum is one, but you can learn as many as you want. I actually think this should be number 2 or number 1 because of the importance and how huge and how big it is and the focus it needs. So you need to be able to build a skill that can pay you extra money, because you need that extra money, whether you are employed or unemployed, whether you are self-employed or you are looking for a job. Wherever you are and whatever situation you're in, you need to have a side hustle, and this skill can be able to help you earn extra money that will put towards your expenses, such as your sinking funds or your to address your bills. You know, it can really come in handy and help you a lot, especially when you always feel like you are at the edge. Money always feels tight every month, every end month. Building that one income skill can help you a lot, and there are so many out here that are easy to enter, meaning the ease of entry is very low, and the capital needed is also low, very minimum. Even some actually have zero capital when you are in the period of entering that market. So you don't really have an excuse. You can just go in and start learning that skill, and within 3 months or within a month, you're able to have cash flow or be able to earn something from that side hustle and that skill that you learned, because skill actually power the world. Because having a skill is something that nobody can take away from you. Having a skill will always be an added advantage, whether you have a degree, whether you have a master's degree. It will always put you on an advantageous side compared to a person who doesn't have any skill. Even that employer who wants to employ someone in a particular field, when he sees and he knows that you have a certain skill, even if it's outside that industry, he'll give you a certain level of credibility, and he'll see you that you're someone who actually takes initiative. You don't just sit back and wait for jobs to pop up. The fifth and the last thing is that you should set a clear goal for your 2026. This should be a clear amount of money that you want to maybe invest, save, or earn. As I was saying, that the fifth thing that you need to address is that you should set a clear goal for your money come next year. This can be a certain amount you want to save, a certain specific amount you want to earn, or either it can be the amount you want to invest in your MMF, in your stocks, in the stocks you want to invest in, or the things you want to buy. So you need to have a clear picture in your mind and have that clarity of mind of the amount you need and what you need to do to actually earn that or get your hands on that amount of money. So 2026, it's not about being unclear about our goals. We need to be clear about what we need to go for, because clarity is very key in building wealth. Clarity is very essential when you're trying to climb up the ladder of financial stability and financial independence. So those are the 5 things we need to address before 2026 comes, so that we can be on the safe side next year and we don't have to struggle. So if you want 2026 to treat you better, start treating your money better now. Follow for more. Also hit that subscribe button and follow, subscribe. You can also share with a friend and leave a comment. See you on the next one. Bye.